Hello everyone, welcome to Rahul Interview Support. If you are interested, I will post my number in the description. If you have any interview support requirement, you can contact me. Okay, let's quickly jump to the actual topic. Let's try to discuss about Amazon interview process today, especially which is happening in US. This is applicable for SD1, SD2 candidates. All right. So most of the candidates thinks Amazon interviews are only about DSA. Okay. That's exactly where many people actually go wrong. Okay. So especially if you are preparing for Amazon in 2026, you need to understand that Amazon is not just testing your coding skills, they are also judging how you think, how you communicate, and how you handle ambiguity, and how well your past experiences are there, right? That reflects from your resume through the leadership skills, especially the behavioral driven questions are there, right? The LP questions, how you answer those things. Okay. In this video, I'll try to break down the complete Amazon interview process. Okay. And in as simple as possible, from online assessments to coding grounds, leadership principles, and system design. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So it always starts with the online assessment. All right. So the first stage is usually this the online assessment. Here you have one DSA based coding question, which is very hard nowadays. And also following that, you will get a sandbox environment. So where you will have one coding question which is almost incomplete. Okay, the code will be incomplete. Mostly it will be written using Java Spring Boot, and you will have to work on that. Okay, and it's more like a AI related coding questions, where you will have to complete the logic, or you will have to make sure that the system actually works. That's your job. Okay. So what does it mean? It means that from now onwards, just solving lead code problems will not work out. You should actually do the work. You should know how things works. All these things are there. But one thing what I have observed is, even if you are not able to get the actual output of the second part, it's okay. Still, people are getting selected and they are moving to the next round. All these things are happening. But but uh, the intuition should be very clear. I mean, like when you try to code, right? If you try to uh, provide answers from ChatGPT or something like that, it's really waste of time. You will be rejected. Okay, just make sure that these things are pretty clear. Okay. Here they try to focus on these areas like how you read the existing code, how you understand the logic quickly, all these things. And yeah, and the focus area is more like arrays and string, hash map, sliding windows. See, all these things are DSA concepts. Okay. Dynamic programming, it is there, but I would say like 10 to 20% of the time. Okay, based on my experience, whatever I have seen. Okay, and next comes if you are qualifying the first round, then you will have a loop interview. Okay, inside the loop interview, you will have three coding rounds and one system design round. Okay, so the important point is every coding round is not just about coding. Okay, it's not just about coding at all. Okay, you will have to communicate very well. uh, I have seen multiple candidates with lot of stammering issues. So it's better you don't take those interviews. Simply waste of time. Okay. So you'll have to communicate really well, and the thinking should be proper. Okay. When I say thinking should be proper, you don't have to go with the traditional approach anymore. Like, okay, I will explain the brute force approach, and then I will go with the lesser time complexity. So now it doesn't matter anymore. So if you can come up with a solution immediately with a lesser time complexity, you can go ahead and do it. But the most important thing is how exactly you communicate, how exactly you explain the thought process. So these things matters a lot. And there will be 20 to 30 minutes of LP. So it depends on panel to panel. I have seen some guys asking three questions and some guys asking only one question for the entire 30 minutes. Okay. So here, so for example, they might ask some questions, like for example, what is the conflict you have faced? And when you hear such kind of questions, right, please don't give like non-technical answers. So even though it sounds non-technical, but you still have to give technical answers. So following, I will try to discuss about those things also. So in leadership principles, so how you took your decisions, what kind of ownership you took, how well you solved the problems, if there is a failure, how exactly you solved it, and working under pressure. So these are the areas they try to focus for SDE1 and SDE2, and you will have to focus on star format. The reason behind that is Amazon panel, they will document everything. It becomes very easy for them to document. So yeah, so of course that's also very important. Okay, and when you explain leadership principles, right? Okay, apart from these aspects, the problems and the challenges and the solutions, whatever you are trying to explain, please make sure that you explain at scale. Okay, availability, scale, all these things are very important. There is something called as P99 matrix. Okay, if you don't know, please go and explore it. You will have to follow that P99 matrix strategy for your Amazon interview. Okay, so it's just an indication of how available your system is. If somebody is from SRE background, they will quickly understand. If you are not, you can search in Google. Okay, and yeah, so please be prepared with 8 to 10 strong stories. Okay, but if you take interview support from us, right? So before your interview, we will be preparing 20 leadership, I mean like behavioral questions based on your resume, and we will share it with you. You can prepare these 20 questions beforehand. 90% of the time you can expect the interviewers to ask from these 20 questions only. So which means you should be able to answer on your own during behavioral interview without any support. Okay. So if you have any questions, again, please message me. We can talk. We can definitely help you out. You don't have to worry about it. And then coding rounds are there. Coding rounds, yes. See, in coding rounds, uh, I have seen see multiple guys. See, even when we prepare, right? So this is something which we do. This is something which we do. This is something which we do. These three things we will do. Okay, this is the area where we skip a lot. Okay, so please make sure that you will focus on this trade-off part as well. Okay, and also when you explain or when you do a dry run, make sure that you have proper edge cases explained. At least cover like 3 to 4 edge case scenarios, and this you can do it based on the timelines, all those things. Okay. Yes, brute force I have added in the documentation, but this is not a mandatory stuff anymore. Now they are completely looking towards the approach. Completely they want to know the approach. Okay. My suggestion is if you can directly jump to a solution with lesser time complexity without brute force, and you can make sure that you can explain clearly of what you are trying to think. Yes, please go ahead and do it. There is no thumb rule anymore. Okay. Yeah, think out loud. This is something which I already explained. Whenever you are typing, until and unless the recruiter is actually asking you to stop, you can simply explain. And common mistake here is people will try to, when think out loud, in the sense they will tell open brackets, closing brackets, for loop, if loop. That is shit. That is crap. Okay. Please don't do such kind of mistakes. Okay. Think out loud means you will be thinking the logic, the approach, not the syntax. All right. Please just make sure that you will not do such kind of mistakes. It's frustrating even for the panel when somebody is already typing that they are actually, I mean, like they are not blind, they are already able to see. Okay. So when they say think out loud, it's the approach. Okay. This is something which is very important. And dry run, as I already mentioned, in dry run, you will have to cover all these areas. Very important. Without that, it's again useless. Okay. And then comes the system design round. This is for the HD2 candidates. And system design, whatever I'm trying to explain now, right? It's not just applicable for Amazon. You can apply the same strategy for all other interviews like Uber, Google. Google generally they don't have too much of system design until and unless you are applying for a very high position. But yeah, Google. and Meta, everywhere. You can follow the same strategy. It works everywhere. So this is how it should look like, the functional requirement. And please ask clarifying questions. System designs purposefully they will make sure that it is incomplete. Okay. So you will have to ask the clarifying questions. You will have to cover like think users at scale, like at least a million user, and features, what features you want, the scalability concerns, the latency, the availability, how reliable you want, and cost is very important. Please add there, and also like how many requests you want to handle per second, what is the data volume, how exactly the API, and when you talk about the API rate, please also add like how the API structure looks like, the API response body, and also the database, the high level design. Yes, again, these things are just the service name, the API gateway, all those things. Like when you're trying to explain microservice based architecture, explaining how the queuing work, how exactly you are trying to implement cache, the cache hit ratio with the database, the load balancers, how exactly you are implementing this asynchronous processing, what is the retry mechanism, everything should be clearly explained. Okay. And even with respect to the authentication, right, like the encryption, the logging, monitoring, this is something again many people will miss. What, for example, if you know the cap theorem, right? So like that is like against the availability. Okay. So explaining these things. Okay. For example, if you make a system highly available, what will you lose, right? So that is what you will be discussing with the trade-off. All right. So these are the things which you will have to focus for Amazon interview. All right. Yeah, this is all about the new Amazon interview process. If you have any questions, yeah, you can please follow me on Instagram. And there is a WhatsApp community where we are posting highly active position. Please do follow that. And yes, and I will also post the link of this document in this description. For you can just open and read it whenever you have these interviews, and you can refer. And also I'll have the keep the WhatsApp chat link. So if you just click on that, you can just talk to me for scheduling your interviews. Okay. Yes, that's all for now. Thank you guys. Bye bye.